Section 4, the Entrepreneurship Module, Chapter 19, the Golden Handcuff. The price you refuse to pay today will be paid tomorrow with interest. Salary is slavery, and I believe that with the whole of my heart. That is why I will forever talk people out of salary mentality to income mentality. I have explained the salary slavery earlier in this book and given you a difference between salary and income. In this section on entrepreneurship, I will be focusing on how to help you become an entrepreneur and successful business person. This module will give you the blueprint you need to build your own business and succeed in it. I personally believe that no one should work for more than 15 years of their working life before having their own business or having other streams of income working for them. Every wise person should have an exit strategy in place from the first day they start working. If you do that and you develop a plan on how to create other streams of income, it will help you stay focused and serious and help you maximize your life. After 15 years of your active working life, you should have other streams working for you. And if you continue to work after then, it won't be for salary or survival, but because you love what you do and you will be secured and not afraid of losing your job. Do you know that even if you work for as long as you can and get all the titles and perks, you still can't hand over your job or position to your children because you don't own it? The quality or beauty of the handcuff is useless as long as it is tying you up. And a handcuff is a handcuff, whether it is golden or not. Moving from salary to income, job seeker to job creator, employee to employer, etc., is a step that everyone must take. One question and argument that my critics always ask and bring to the table is, must everyone be a businessman? What if one is not cut out for business? And if everybody is doing business, who will be working for them? You have read me state that paid employment is a vehicle for wealth creation, though with limitations, and you have also read me state that corporate executive is also a place that produces wealthy people, also with limitations. Whether it's paid employment or corporate executive level with official house, official car, official trip, etc., it all ends the day you stop working, and all falls under earned income status, which is the lowest level to operate from, and I am just trying to help you see better and more clearly. You can't hand it over to your children. After you retire, you will want to start something on your own. So why wait to be retired and too tired physically, mentally, emotionally, etc., to start something when you can do it earlier? I don't believe everybody must be a businessman or start their own business, definitely not. But I believe everybody must be an investor and have multiple streams working for them. Why you should move from employee to employer. 1. It is not your employer's job to make you rich. It is your responsibility. So in order to be rich, you should have a plan to move from being an employee to being an employer. 2. Being an employee pegs your financial and material progress because someone else determines your salary and your increase. 3. Being an employee is not secured because it leaves you at the mercy of your employer's favors. 4. Being an employee makes you get only enough money as your employer decides, which is mostly below your real worth and value. It only takes you wanting to leave to sometimes make them value you. 5. Being an employee keeps you under constant fear of losing your job, offending your boss, losing your salary, etc. 6. Being an employee makes you exchange the most valuable years of your life for salary. 7. Being an employee makes you a leverage for your employers to create wealth. They convert your time, talent, virtue, knowledge, skill, energy, influence, sweat, and networks, etc., to personal and corporate wealth. 8. Being an employee makes your personal vision and dreams stay buried and subjected to the corporate vision and mission. 9. Being an employee means someone else determines when you wake up, when you get home, where you live, or how you live. To resume as expected, you either have to wake up early or relocate close to your office, and your salary determines the level of life you live. 10. Being an employee keeps you and all your acquisitions under monitor and suspicion. Every new thing you buy will be looked at in a funny way, as if you have stolen. 11. As an employee, your employer sees you as an overhead, an item of expenditure and replaceable entity. Your employers even have structures in place to replace you after getting all they can from and through you. This is called succession planning. 12. As an employee, you end up with pittance called retirement benefit, which hardly covers 20% of your living expenses at old age. It's time to wake up and strategize on how to run your own business and provide for your own house now and forever. The balanced diet. It is very important to draw balance here because of immature and unwise people who don't know how to rightly apply truths. Almost everybody will start out as an employee, and it is a vehicle in its own. Your faithfulness in this level, both to your boss and the establishment, determines whether you will ever get your own business started and successful. Your time as an employee is not a waste. Use it to gather experience and skill that prepares you to succeed on your own. Your employer is not your enemy, so don't sow what you don't want to reap in future. Remember, when you start your own business, you will also have staff. What you sow is what you reap. Things to learn while working for others which will help you in your own business. While working as an employee, pay attention and give it all it takes so that you can get these things into you. 1. Learn how to sell yourself, your product, and services. 2. Learn communication skills, both written and verbal. 3. Learn how to manage people. 4. Learn how to manage money and cash flow. 5. Learn how to manage yourself and your life and home. 6. Learn how to manage projects. Starting and owning your own business is considered one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, vehicles of wealth creation, and ranks in the top 5 on my list next to real estate, intellectual property, and the capital market. Any rich or wealthy individual you know sure has their own business because over 90% of the wealthy people do. It is one of the fastest routes to wealth. It has limitless possibilities and profits within the shortest time. You can make in one deal or 1 month what takes others years. You have freedom and control of your life and things. You spend first and pay tax on the rest, while others pay tax first and spend the rest. It's a powerful vehicle that beats inflation any day, any time. It validates your financial intelligence. You can hand it over to your children. You become a business owner and entrepreneur by developing skills, capabilities, competencies, etc. So as you work, make sure you spend the time learning structures, management strategies, and skills that will help you when you finally enter your own. Some people plan to start their own businesses when they retire, but fail to use their working years to gather the skills and abilities required. That is why many retire, start businesses, and lose it all. Why do you work? I strongly believe you work to learn and not to earn. If earning is your reason for working, you will stay in the rat race with golden handcuffs because you can't risk your earning by stepping out into business and leaving the known for the unknown. But if learning is the reason you work, you long for your exit from that rat race and graduation into the world of entrepreneurship. Love your job, but never fall in love with your golden handcuff. An interesting speech delivered by a CEO of a premier IT company in India during an employee session with another IT company in India. He is incidentally one of the top 50 influential people in Asia, according to the latest Asia Week publication. He is also the new IT advisor to the Thai Prime Minister. Extract of Mr. Narayan Murthy's speech during mentor session. Love your job, but never fall in love with your company, because you never know when company stops loving you. Narayan Murthy. I know people who work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week or more. Some people do so because of a work emergency where the long hours are only temporary. Other people I know have put in these hours for years. I don't know if they're working all these hours, but I do know they are in the office this long. Others put in long office hours because they are addicted to the workplace. Whatever the reason for putting in overtime, working long hours over the long term is harmful to the person and the organization. I've seen people work Tuesday through Friday to correct mistakes made after 5 p.m. on Monday. Another problem is that people who are in the office for long hours are not pleasant company. They often complain about other people who aren't working as hard. They are irritable or cranky or even angry. Other people avoid them. Such behavior poses problems where work goes much better when people work together instead of avoiding one another. As managers, there are things we can do to help people leave the office. First and foremost is to set the example and go home ourselves. I work with a manager who chides people for working long hours. His words quickly lose their meaning when he sends these chiding group emails with a timestamp of 2 a.m. Sunday. Second is to encourage people to put some balance in their lives. For instance, here is a guideline I find helpful. 1. Wake up, eat a good breakfast, and go to work. 2. Work hard and smart for 8 or 9 hours. 3. Go home. 4. Read the books, comics, dig in the dirt, play with your kids, etc. 5. Eat well and sleep well. This is called recreating. Doing steps 1, 3, 4, and 5 enables 2. Working regular hours and recreating daily are simple concepts. They are hard for some of us because that requires personal change. They are possible since we all have the power to choose to do them. In considering the issue of overtime, I'm reminded of my oldest son. When he was a toddler, if people were visiting the apartment, he would not fall asleep no matter how long the visit and no matter what time of day it was. He would fight off sleep until the visitors left. It was as if he was afraid that he would miss something. Once our visitors left, he would go to sleep. By this time, however, he was overtired and would scream half the night with nightmares. He, my wife, and I all paid the price for his fear of missing out. Perhaps some people put in such long hours because they don't want to miss anything when they leave the office. The trouble with this is that events will never stop happening. That is life. Things happen 24 hours a day. Allowing for little rest is not ultimately practical. So take a nap. Things will happen while you're asleep, but you will have the energy to catch up when you are awake. Hence, love your job, but never fall in love with your company.